The dreaded small talk. We all hate it, right? Empty, void of substance, unfulfilling, bland. We've all gotten to the situations where we get into a small talk conversation. It's just bland, uninteresting, and talking about if a hot dog is a sandwich or not. It's obviously a sandwich. Well, today I'm going to be sharing with you a conversational shift that helped me personally break out of small talk and deepen my conversations across the board. Now, before we get to it, I just want to share a quick story of how I actually used this conversational shift a month or so ago. So this happened when I was on a plane going to Washington State. And while everyone was funneling in, I see this girl. The girl sat next to me, and eventually I ended up starting a conversation with her. And ended up finding out that she was actually a very fascinating person. And we ended up talking about what we're majoring in college. I found out that she's a dancer. She's also a gamer girl, so we're able to connect over that. And we also were able to talk about what our lives wanted to be like long term as well. Now, the reason why I tell you this story is to show you the power of asking why questions. Okay, well, what the heck do I even mean about asking why questions? Well, if we go back to the conversation that I had on the plane, one of the things that we talked about were our college majors, and it went a little bit like this. Okay, that's pretty cool. Yeah. So, what are you majoring in? Theater and dance. Nice, cool. Now, this is a good example of how the conversation could have went if I didn't use why questions. Now let's see how the conversation actually went. So, what are you majoring in? Theater and dance. Oh, nice. Okay, that's pretty cool. So, what exactly made you decide to major in theater and dance? Well, I've actually been dancing ever since I was little, and I thought, as you see here, by asking the why question, one of the things that we did was open up the conversation. Now there are a couple questions I can ask in follow-up to the answer. For example, I can ask if she just comes from a family of dancers. I can also ask if she is actually passionate about dancing or if it's just something that she does as a hobby, and so on and so forth. Now let's look at another example. Another thing that we talked about on the plane was our destination. Why are we even going to Washington? For me personally, that's just where home base was, but I turned that question onto her. Why was she going to Washington? And it went a little bit like this. So is this your first time going to Washington? Yeah, it actually is. Oh, okay, nice. So is it like for a vacation or something? Or you have family over there? Yeah, I'm on a vacation with my friends. Honestly, I just felt like I needed a break from school. Yeah, I feel that. Well, what actually brought you guys to take a trip to Washington compared to other places like New York, LA? We've actually been planning this trip for a while now. We're one of those group of friends that always sends reels to each other all the time. And now, as you can see here, these conversations can go on indefinitely and in multiple different directions just by asking why questions. And why is that? Well, it's because why questions are open-ended. Closed-ended questions, aka questions that could be answered with a yes or a no, get closed answers. Open-ended questions, for example, why questions, get open-ended answers, and answers with a little bit more substance to them. Now, you may have noticed in the previous example that the word why wasn't used in the question that was asked. Now, this is because the word why doesn't necessarily even need to be used when asking why questions. Now, this is because there are multiple ways to ask why questions without using the word why in the question. Now, here are a couple examples of asking a why question without having the word why in it. What brings you to Seattle? Or what brought you to Seattle? What got you into pickleball? And this last one is my personal favorite, which I use very regularly. What made you do that? Or what made you major in art? What made you decide to move to Washington? Now, why do these why questions work? Well, for me personally, I think they work because everyone has a reason for doing the things they do. The girl on the plane had a reason for majoring in what she was. She had a reason to be on that flight. Your friend has a reason why he started going to the gym. Your coworkers have a reason why they're working their current job. And you have a reason why you're watching this video. In my personal experience, people often ask what you do, but never why you do it. Now, next up, I'll be talking about a key that's crucial to making these why questions work. And without it, everything that I've been talking up to this point will fall flat. Well, that key is curiosity. Curiosity is key. What I mean by it is this: wanting to know more about the other person than talking about yourself. Now, Dale Carnegie touches on this in his book, How to Win Friends and Influence People. And he says, take a genuine interest in other people. Genuine is the key word. Don't fake it. Train yourself to actually become interested in other people's lives. Now, one thing I noticed when I use this principle of genuine curiosity in conversations, I noticed that why questions just flow out and conversations just can go on and on and on and forever. Genuine curiosity allows why questions to flow, and I honestly think that anyone and everyone is capable of having an unlimited amount of why questions at their disposal in any conversation, just by pairing why questions with curiosity. Now, this conversational shift may not work for everyone. I just want to share something that has personally worked for me and something that I still use to this day in any everyday conversation. Take it as one of many different conversational tools that you can keep in your back pocket to keep conversations interesting and away from that dreaded small talk.